Good afternoon and welcome to Brewing. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler, and we're doing the show a little bit different today. It's not airing live as it has been because the past two shows didn't save. So anyone who didn't get to watch it live didn't get to watch it. And quite frankly, I have more not live viewers than I do live viewers. So rather than using Ustream.tv, I'm just using YouTube to record this, and then I'll save it, and then hopefully you're watching it at some point. Now I say good afternoon, although it is morning right now as I record this, because I want to make sure everything works, because this is the first time I'm doing it this way. So I didn't do a show on Thursday. I did a show on Friday, but it didn't save. And then I did a show yesterday, Monday, but it didn't save. By the way, it is Tuesday, December 4th, 2012. I want to get that out at the beginning of the show so that when I'm watching it later, I'm like, what day's show is this? It's Tuesday, December 4th. So I didn't do the show Thursday, then I did do the show Friday and Monday, but they didn't save. So it looks like there's this huge gap, and people are wondering, Leffler, what's going on with your show? Well, this is what's going on. Switching it to a recorded format until I can figure something out that's better. It's brewing, so I'm drinking coffee. Today is my Friday. Yesterday was my Wednesday. And Sunday was my Monday. I only have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the rest of the week, or for the rest of the year, I should say. From now through the rest of the year, I am off every Thursday, Friday. No, I'm off every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, should make for a lot of fun, a lot of downtime, maybe some trouble. Hopefully there's no police involved. So, I had a few things that I talked about yesterday that I kind of want to pick back up because they were important and they haven't really changed at all. And in fact, one of them is the topic of my column today. It's actually all kind of the topic of my column today because it all sort of interflows and interreacts. But my column today is about the GOP needing to figure out what direction to go from here. Now, I had previously said that I thought that the GOP was going to shift to the left, be a little more moderate. I thought that the Tea Party wing of the GOP would just sort of fade, or well, not go away completely, but fade, I guess. You know, it'd be diminished. However, the Tea Party types are very vocal, and they've got a lot of money, and that might not happen. Grover Norquist, the guy that made all the Republicans sign the promise that they wouldn't raise taxes, he is suggesting that there will be a Tea Party backlash. He says that if the president pushes us over the fiscal cliff, 2014 will be a horrible year for the Democrats at the congressional elections. He was on Meet the Press on Sunday, and he said, quote, Tea Party 2 is going to dwarf Tea Party 1 if Obama pushes us off the cliff. Tea Party 2 versus Tea Party, it's a sequel. Tea Party 2, the sequel, with Grover Norquist. I don't know. But I think it's all the same Tea Party. Is there going to be a resurgence? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But he seems to think there is. Personally, I think he's bluffing. I think that he knows that the Tea Party is diminished, and he's trying to save face as best he can, trying to rally the troops. Maybe bluffing is the wrong word. I think he does. I think he is trying to rally the troops. I'm just not sure how much the troops support him. We have another story that I'm going to get to a little bit later that shows that some people at least do. Norquist did say something on Meet the Press that I agree with 100% and wholeheartedly. He said that he believes that televising the negotiations on the fiscal cliff deal would prevent tax increases from being part of any deal. Now, I don't agree that it will prevent tax increases. I think tax increases are inevitable. But I think that televising it is a good idea. Everything that happens in Washington, D.C. With congressmen, in my opinion, with elected officials, with politicians, because there are politicians who are not elected officials, right? I think it should all be televised. It would make everything much more above the board. It would make everything much more, you know, I'm all for open government. Well, you don't televise everything. Any transaction that begins on Craigslist should not be televised. I lost a congressman that way. I don't want to see it happen anymore. And I'm not saying that we should end Craigslist transactions for congressmen. You know, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. So yesterday, Politico had a story about the GOP losing, quote unquote, the right. No, I'm sorry. This was in this morning's Politico. Yesterday's Politico was about the changing electorate, saying that it's shifting to the left and proving so by the loss of some prominent Tea Party types in their congressional races, as well as the approval of marijuana and gay marriage in a few states. So it really looks like in 2012 there was a shift left. Meanwhile, this morning, Politico says that the GOP is losing the right. Now there is the mainstream GOP, the House leadership, if you will, and they're centrists for the most part. A little bit to the right of center, as you would expect a Republican to be, but they're not crazy right-wing Tea Party types. The Tea Party does not control Republican leadership, and less so now, actually, because they had some fairly prominent members removed from some fairly prominent committees. And, of course, some people aren't happy about this. There's a group called Heritage Action, which has been a long time proponent of right-wing ideals. They told their members in an email that House Speaker John Boehner was asking his, quote, members to go back on their promises not to raise taxes on the American people by putting $800 billion of new revenue in the mix in negotiations to avert the fiscal cliff. So we're still talking about raising taxes, which was Grover Norquist's thing. And Heritage Action is blaming it all on John Boehner. Club for Growth, which is a limited government organization. You've probably heard of that one. I had never heard of Heritage Action before, but Club for Growth I'm very familiar with. They were disappointed that the Republicans who were on the House Republican Steering Committee have been removed, particularly David Schweikert, Tim Helskamp, and Justin Amash, all Republicans from Arizona, Kansas, and Michigan, respectively. They were the, quote, the last free remnants of establishment leverage against them. I'm sorry, they were free of the last remnants of establishment leverage against them, basically saying, oh, by letting them out of this committee, now they don't have to toe the party line, and saying that somehow or another it's a good thing. It's a silver lining. It's trying to make a bad thing into a good thing, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then there's another organization called Freedom Works, which is urging all of their members to call John Boehner's office and urge him to stop the fiscal conservative purge, getting rid of the three guys that were on the steering committee. So the GOP is still fighting over the right. They're going to continue to fight over the right. Again, my column is about this today, what direction they're going to go in. Now, personally, I have a feeling that if the GOP does continue to shift right, that it will go badly for them. The party that has controlled the White House has lost races, lost House seats in the off year, the year that the presidential race is not voted on. Every election for the last 30, save for 2. So 28 of the last 30 elections, the House has gone to the non-presidential side. I think if the GOP continues to try and shift right here, this might be the third time in 31 tries that the Democrats or that the majority position picks up seats. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. By the way, a poll released by Pew Research states that most of the American public agrees with the Democrats on this. The majority of Americans say that if the country goes over the fiscal cliff on December 31st, congressional Republicans should bear the brunt of the blame, according to a poll by Pew Research, Washington Post. The latest sign that the GOP faces a perilous path on the issue between now and the end of the year. And that path doesn't end at the end of the year, of course. But according to the poll results, 53% say that they support the Democrats on the fiscal cliff issue. 27% say that they support the GOP on the fiscal cliff issue. 10% say the blame is equal. Now, if you're doing the math, that means that 10% of people were too busy watching The Voice to have any opinion. Or whatever is cool these days. I think it's The Voice, right? I've never seen The Voice. I don't know. CeeLo Green did that one song, and I thought it was cute and funny, but I can't take him seriously. I don't know why. I just can't. Another sign that the country is headed left, and we've talked about this before. This is Tuesday. In 2 days, smoking pot becomes legal in the state of Washington. Now, prosecutors throughout the state have begun dismissing hundreds of misdemeanor marijuana cases, according to authorities there, and police are being trained to let it slide. If you see somebody smoking pot, it's all good. Now, if you see them smoking pot while driving, that's still bad. Driving while high is still a crime, as it should be. Driving while intoxicated is a crime, no matter what you're intoxicated on, whether it's alcohol or medicine or drugs. So I wholeheartedly agree that driving while high should still be a crime. Now, the fun thing here is that the federal government is giving Washington no help, no support, no advice, no nothing, because smoking marijuana is still a federal crime. A point which I don't understand. I don't know why there are federal laws of that nature, but there are. And Washington is breaking the law by telling people that it's okay for them to break the law. I don't know. It's all very fun. It's all very interesting. It's all very unique. The show is only 11 minutes old. That doesn't make any sense because when I did the same show yesterday with less stuff, it was like 14 minutes. But maybe the second time I did it, I edited myself down. I'm not sure. What I do know is that I did a show today. I'm going to save it. I'm going to upload it, and hopefully everyone in the world is going to watch it. So if I'm not doing the show live anymore, then there's no point of you tweeting live, although I still want to hear from you. So do me a favor and still tweet me at Scott Leffler. And I am going to try and figure out a way to get back to doing live shows. But for now, this is going to have to do. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And it's all good. And I love you. And it's Christmas. And I had a great weekend. Did a lot of fun Christmassy things. And I don't know. I'm excited. So have a wonderful day. And I will be back here tomorrow doing this again. And hopefully it worked today. If you're seeing this, then it worked. And then I'll make it work again tomorrow. And then everybody will be happy and it'll be wonderful. All right.